Modern professional life is defined by a strange contradiction. We are surrounded by more communication tools, overlapping meetings, and rapid-fire requests than ever before, yet the amount of rigorous, high-value work actually being completed is stalling. Many organizations mistake visible coordination for actual production. Responding to threads, attending status updates, and remaining constantly visible are rewarded as if they are the work itself, rather than mere administration surrounding the work. This split-screen comparison shows the daily reality for many workers. On the left, a dense, color-coded calendar shows zero empty space. It looks highly efficient. But look at the right side. The output log of finished, defensible substance remains completely blank. The schedule is broken by design. Unfiltered notifications slice through the day, shattering long blocks of concentration into useless fragments of partial attention. There is a hidden arithmetic to this environment. 8 hours of physical presence at a desk rarely yields 8 hours of usable cognitive time. The hours exist, but the mental continuity required to use them does not. Busyness is not a proxy for output. A worker can spend the entire day in frantic motion, reacting to every input, and end the evening completely exhausted without having advanced a single important deliverable. Constant digital exposure actively degrades cognitive control. It weakens the brain's capacity to maintain task goals, filter out noise, and sustain the deep reasoning required for serious output. To produce serious work, human attention can no longer be left exposed to whatever urgent-looking request arrives next. It must be managed as a strictly guarded operational asset. If the calendar is full but the output is thin, we have to ask where the time actually disappears. It does not vanish through laziness. It is lost inside the transitions between tasks. Human thought does not move seamlessly from one demand to the next without friction. Working memory holds information needed for complex tasks. During deep analysis, professionals build a structured architecture of thought. But if a message interrupts, a new demand forces its way in, pushing the original logic aside. Resuming the analysis applies a cognitive penalty called attention residue. This mental residue slows reasoning. The architecture of thought becomes less cohesive, and complex arguments collapse prematurely because the cognitive field is congested. In this fragmented state, error rates begin to climb. The brain simply cannot hold the necessary sequence of definitions, precedents, and logic required for high-level judgment. A second, quieter threat compounding this damage: anticipatory attention. An alert does not actually need to sound to break concentration. The mere possibility of an interruption imposes a heavy tax on focus. A device left face up on the desk, or a chat window kept open in the background, creates a perpetual state of low-level expectancy. This expectancy forces the mind into a split posture. One fraction attempts to immerse itself in the work, while the rest remains eternally vigilant, waiting for the next inevitable intrusion. The emotional toll of this permanent partial alertness is severe. The nervous system adapts to constant micro-alerts, driving up irritability and steadily eroding patience for slow problem-solving. An open-channel culture shifts a professional's decision style. It forces a preference for rapid, shallow reactions, making rigorous thought feel increasingly unnatural. We have to observe how intelligent professionals naturally adapt when placed inside a system that constantly fractures their attention. They gravitate toward the easiest actions available. When deep work is blocked by noise, workers seek out shallow tasks that offer quick, satisfying closure. This chart categorizes daily behavior into essential work, motion, and theater. Essential work materially advances a task. Motion creates the sensation of effort without real advancement, like shuffling tabs. Theater is performative behavior, like rapid replies, optimized purely for managerial surveillance rather than value. Why do highly capable individuals willingly substitute motion and theater for actual execution? Essential work demands intense concentration and forces the worker to confront uncertainty. Motion shields them from that intellectual risk, providing cheap, immediate emotional comfort. Furthermore, in environments that prioritize visibility, theatrical busyness is consistently rewarded and praised, while the silent, solitary effort required to build a complex model goes entirely unnoticed. Without strict structural boundaries in place, human nature will predictably retreat from the heavy strain of essential work and hide inside the comfortable camouflage of motion and theater. Personal willpower and isolated productivity hacks will always fail against modern office environments. You cannot outmotivate an architecture explicitly designed to interrupt you. The required solution is a structural, non-negotiable framework, the no distraction rule. The core mechanic relies on carving out specific, designated blocks of time and fiercely protecting them from the surrounding chaos. During this window, all external digital demands and perceived urgencies are physically prevented from reaching the worker. The rule enforces 4 strict standards. First is task singularity. A protected block must serve one predefined deliverable, never a vague ambition like getting organized. Second is environmental exclusion. 0 ambient digital access is permitted. Distance from distraction is vastly more reliable than trying to resist it. Third is threshold discipline. Only predefined, genuine emergencies are allowed to breach the session. All other internal noise is delayed until the block concludes. Fourth is verifiable output. The block must end with a traceable asset, a drafted memo, a finished design, proving that time was converted into value. This framework removes the exhausting daily need for self-control. By making focus a governed operational standard, you eliminate the constant internal negotiation over what deserves your attention. Workers often resist this level of isolation because they fear that protecting their focus will make them appear uncooperative to their peers. But durable professional credibility is never built on reaction speed. It is built on producing rigorous output that holds up under deep scrutiny. The modern knowledge worker faces a direct choice. You can operate as a high-speed conduit for corporate noise, or you can establish yourself as a disciplined producer of substance. Silence and a delayed response are not signs of neglect. They are the prerequisites for excellence. The highest value work requires conditions worthy of thought.